The Netherlands. Although the Netherlands is famous for its tulips, windmills, canals, clogs, and coffee shops, there is so much more to this great country. Would you believe me if I said tulips didn't come from the Netherlands? Did you know that the population density in the Netherlands is the highest in all of Europe? Do the Dutch really consume that much cheese? We did some extra research and came up with 10 interesting tidbits about the Netherlands. Use these interesting facts about the Netherlands to impress your friends and family, or to win next week's trivia game. The Dutch are the tallest people in the world. The Netherlands is home to the world's tallest population. The typical Dutch man is 183 centimeters, 6 feet tall, whereas a Dutch woman is 171 centimeters, 5 feet 7 inches tall. Military records show that in the last 200 years, men in the Netherlands have grown an extra 20 centimeters taller on average. The origin of this interesting fact about the Netherlands has not been determined. The high prevalence of cheese and other dairy products in the Dutch diet, as well as the country's low social inequality, have been credited for this. Tulips are not originally from the Netherlands. Now this might surprise you, but the tulip, which is the most famous flower in the Netherlands, did not grow there at first. The colorful tulp was brought to the Netherlands from Turkey in the 1600s, but it has been an important part of Dutch society ever since. In the 1630s, people in the Netherlands were crazy about tulips. Prices went up until bulbs cost as much as houses. This made a lot of farmers want to start growing the flower, but the industry quickly crashed in 1637, putting a lot of people out of work. The Dutch didn't find out that tulip seeds could be used as food until the last winter of World War II. Now, on the third Saturday of every January, the Dutch enjoy National Tulip Day, which marks the start of tulip season, by letting people pick flowers for free and holding flower festivals. Greet the Dutch with 3 kisses. The custom of greeting each other with 3 kisses on each cheek is widely accepted among Dutch people. When saying goodbye, it is also common practice to embrace each other physically. It's just a casual way to say hello and goodbye. The Dutch aren't the only ones affected by this. If a person comes from a place like England, where shaking hands before the 3rd date can be seen as pretty forward, this can come as quite a culture shock. The Netherlands is a water country. It's no mystery why the country is called the Lowlands in English. That's what the Netherlands means in Dutch. With about a third of its land area lying below sea level, it has the lowest elevation of any European country. With an average elevation of only 30 meters above sea level, it is also one of the lowest lying countries in the world. The lowest point is in Zuidplaspolder, which is 6.7 meters below sea level, while the highest point is at the top of Valserberg Hill, which is 323 meters above sea level. 60% of the Dutch population resides 5 meters below sea level, while 50% of the country is barely 1 meter above sea level. The country's primary international airport, Schiphol, is located over 3 meters, 10 feet, below sea level. The Dutch are among the finest in the world at dredging and flood prevention, which is great news. The Dutch built mills and pumping stations to keep their feet dry. The Netherlands also had to get the water under control with polders and dikes, and later with waterworks such as the Absolute Dik and the Delta Works. Dutch people love cheese. Cheeses such as Gouda, Edam, Leeds Kaas, and Beemster are just the beginning. The Dutch have a good understanding of cheese, so it's not surprising that they consume large quantities of it. While the Dutch are known for their elaborate dinners, a cheese sandwich is a go-to for lunch. Typical Dutch food. Den Bosch's Bosje bol and Friesland Suikerbrood are just 2 examples of the regional and city-specific delicacies found throughout the country. Asparagus from Limburg and mussels from Zealand are 2 examples of seasonal ingredients that are best appreciated during their respective seasons. Potatoes, meat, and veggies are served with gravy for a classic Dutch supper. Vegetables are often cooked alongside the meat when it is being salted or smoked. The word stampot has evolved to mean Dutch food in general because of how popular a particular supper dish is. Stroopwafels, croquettes, bitterballen, herring, stampot, poffertjes, licorice, pea soup, rusks with mice, chocolate sprinkles and cheese are part of the typical Dutch food culture. Weed tolerance policy in the Netherlands. The Dutch perspective on weed is one of the country's distinguishing features. Most visitors come to smoke a little and have a good time, But the law is a little more difficult than they probably anticipate. The problem is that cannabis is not entirely legal in the Netherlands. Possession of soft drugs, and therefore weed, is permitted provided it is for personal use. The amount of weed that a person is allowed to carry is set at 5 grams. If someone carries more than 5 grams of weed, this can be seen as an indication that the person is selling weed. In the Netherlands, you have been allowed to buy hashish or weed at coffee shops since 1976. They can sell it under strict conditions. How the shops get their soft drugs is formally a mystery. Cultivation is prohibited. More bicycles than people. The Netherlands has a population of about 18 million and a bike population of about 22 million. The roads in the Netherlands are relatively flat, making bicycle travel a breeze. There are 1.30 bicycles for every human being, with many people having 2 bikes. The fascination with bicycles, though, may have gone too far. The Dutch culture places a premium on bicycling, which helps explain why the country is frequently ranked as one of the healthiest in the world. The Dutch ride an average of 2.9 kilometers per day, and more than 25% of all trips are made via bicycle in the Netherlands, while this figure is only 2% in the United Kingdom. A bakfiets is a bike and wheelbarrow hybrid that is commonly used to carry household goods and children to and from school. The European Union recognized the Netherlands and Denmark as the 2 most bike-friendly countries in Europe in 2013. The Netherlands has the highest museum density in the world. Did you know that the Netherlands boasts approximately 1,000 museums, more than any other country? Super individualism in the Netherlands is also easy to spot in its institutional manifestations. There is no other country in the world where there is such a concentration of museums and galleries. A contemporary art museum can be found in almost any major city. In the absence of a museum, one can always find a modern art center, a festival, or any other cultural happening. Each of these institutions, some of which are located in very close proximity to one another, exerts considerable effort into charting its own course by differentiating itself from the others. Amsterdam boasts more museums per square mile than any other city, making it impossible to become bored there. The Anne Frank House, the Van Gogh Museum, the National Rijksmuseum, and the Hermitage Amsterdam are the city's absolute must-sees. Internationally, the Netherlands is also known as Holland. The Netherlands is divided into 12 provinces. Both North Holland and South Holland are known simply as Holland. If you're in the area, you can use Holland. But if you're not, the Netherlands is the correct term to use. But why did the Dutch stop calling their entire country Holland? It wasn't enough to simply be accurate geographically. As part of a massive rebranding effort, the country formally dropped the nickname Holland at the end of 2019. After all, if all visitors only see Holland, they will congregate in just those 2 provinces, rather than venturing out to see the rest of the country. Nonetheless, many inhabitants and their Belgian neighbors to the south still fondly refer to it as Holland in everyday conversation. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. And don't forget to share your views in the comment section. Thanks for watching.